The DUP motion today is an attempt to undermine any and all abortion provision in the North. We in Sinn Féin oppose the DUP's attack on women's reproductive rights, and we oppose the DUP's attempt to undermine our right to modern healthcare. The amendment that we have put forward would see a refining of the law to offer abortion services in the North mirrored with the services that we already have in the 26 counties. Sinn Féin is not just a parliamentary party. We are a political movement, and we decide policy as a collective, with membership having a say on every single decision. This is democracy, and it's one of the things that first inspired me when I joined Sinn Féin. When the 8th Amendment was repealed in the South just over 2 years ago, Sinn Féin activists were at the heart of the campaign. The movement who drove repeal were a broad church, and Sinn Féin members took their place and organised just as we would on any other campaign for social justice. Abortion is an incredibly sensitive topic and something that has divided Irish society and indeed societies across the world for a long time. Many are uncomfortable with this issue, and only after years of dialogue and a willingness to understand the hurt and pain dealt with by generations of Irish women in crisis situations, did we see the conditions whereby over 66% of voters in the 26 counties chose to repeal the 8th Amendment from the Irish Constitution. This tells us that the public understands the need for safe and compassionate abortion services. Sinn Féin supports abortion in instances of fatal fetal abnormalities, for victims of sexual crime and for anyone whose life or health, including their mental health, is in danger. Our party policy states that any gestational time limit should be set according to the advice of medical practitioners, which is what guided the legislation in the 26 counties. Sinn Féin's amendment today is merely an expression of this party policy. We in Sinn Féin would have liked to see abortion services delivered across Ireland by legislators here in Ireland. For us not to have been able to do that is a shame, but when a right is delayed, it is denied. And it's for this reason that we supported the regulations that came into force in the North at the end of March. We welcomed the decriminalisation of women, something that punished people in already difficult circumstances, adding untold trauma to the lives of thousands of women who lived in fear of being found out for what they had done. I have written to the Minister for Health asking that the regulations as set out by the British Government are implemented and properly funded by the Department of Health locally, so as to see a fully commissioned service across all 5 healthcare trusts here. The Health Minister has abdicated his responsibilities in this issue, failing to give clear direction to the health trusts which adheres to the law. This leaves women in limbo. Sinn Féin want to see an end to this. We want to see a proper, safe legal service for anyone in crisis, whatever their story. We also acknowledge the work of disability campaigners such as Heidi Crowder. Sinn Féin want to see a fair and just society. We want to see an end to all injustices, both in terms of deliberate, state-led, institutionalised discrimination, the kind of which that has been talked about at the minute worldwide, as well as the societal prejudices that are held by people who think that they're doing nothing wrong. It's only when this is called out that the legitimisation of such views is halted, and Sinn Féin will continue to do that. To serve disabled people properly, we need to build infrastructure which is totally accessible. We need to have inclusivity to properly service Section 75 obligations across all public sector bodies and to raise awareness of the issues that face less able people in their daily lives. Sinn Féin do not believe that a non-fatal fetal abnormality is an appropriate criteria for an abortion. Our party position, mandated by our party membership, has a modern and compassionate approach to healthcare at its core, and that is why we're opposed to the DUP motion here this evening. We do not support the DUP's cynical attempt to attack the entire body of human rights compliant healthcare for women. We are not in favour of blocking the ability of people in crisis to make the decision which they feel is best for them just because other people are uncomfortable with it. Their motion would undermine the regulations in totality, by stealth, and Sinn Féin's completely opposed to this. This is 2020, and women here must be afforded modern healthcare in this area as a right. There can be no further delays. We have waited long enough. Gora Maigat, I would urge people to support the amendment.